To all the husbands out there, I came across a cheat code this weekend that I want to share with you all. After being married for 11 years, I'm still unlocking new doors, new opportunities, and new possibilities that marriage has to offer that I'm still figuring out, right? And this last weekend, my wife and I stepped into a new dimension, a new area of not only trust, not only vulnerability, but a way in which we're able to work things out together. Because as a husband, as a man, I had the idea that I need to come with the solutions all the time. I need to be the one that figures all out and share what the plan is, and that's what we're gonna do. But then this past weekend led me to realize that no, my wife doesn't necessarily need me to have everything figured out. Most often she needs me to be willing to feel it all the way out with her. And that's what happened this past weekend. And in this video, I'm gonna share why our wives are one of the most luxurious life hacks that we have that we should tap into. And my prayer is that by the end of this video, not only will my story help you to see her, your wife, that way, but then you'll start to not use her, but start to use the gift that you have beside you, which is the one you said I do to for life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking to them type people. However, in it all with it all, this past weekend, like, we are now endeavoring upon unloading a load of debt. At the end of the day, my wife put on Tik Tok of the debt that we have, from credit cards to car payments and car loans and things like that. And our goal is to chop at it, like bit by bit, thousand by thousand, down to a zero. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, the budget talks have to take place. Where the money's going has to be conversed about and talked about. And at the end of the day, like, I'm good with numbers. So once I have a number and thing in mind, like, it is what it is. However, my wife likes to be updated with like what's going on, where are things now, what could I spend now, what shouldn't I spend, what could I do later, what vacations can I take? And I'm thinking, like, what are we talking about all this for? Like, where we are, the vacations that we've already taken, the fun things that we've already lived. I see a little alligator out here. Being in Florida, you're gonna see that, and I'm gonna just show it to you. There is the little alligator doing what it does, which at the end of the day, like, there's one over there, there could be one closer, and so I'm gonna just capture this and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the way. As you can see, it's about that far from where I am, so I'm a good distance away. However, if there's one there, it could be one right along the bank, so I'm gonna keep walking and doing this video. And so yeah, so she's talking about all these different things. I'm like, hey, like, why do we need to talk about this? You already know what the budget is, you already know where we are. But she kept persisting, so I'm like, okay, let's have the conversation. And then even my thing is, I don't like to have like tough conversations or uncomfortable conversations inside the house. I love for my house to be a place of peace, and therefore every time I'm in my home, I want for it to be a peaceful feeling, and not one in which, not argument, because we don't really argue, but like just friction has taken place. So I was like, let's go take a walk, let's get outside. And she was like, okay, cool, let's do so. And then in doing it, which is going for a walk, we start having the conversation and talking through and walking through where the budget is, where we want it to be, and refocusing on what our goals are. And one of the things that she shared with me that was a valuable insight is that, yes, you, Ricky, do handle our budget. However, I don't want you to have a scarcity or a poverty or a, like, where you're holding things so tight, where you feel like there's nothing left type mindset or mentality, like a fear-based, that's what she said, ultimately, a fear-based mentality when handling our finances. And I had to like swallow my pride and pause and just hear what she had to say, because I never would attribute those attributes or characteristics or qualities to the way in which I would handle and do handle our finances. My thought is always to pay things off and to be as little as debt as you can, and no matter what, like, you do the smallest things so that you can put forth all the money towards those things, like that goal. If that's your goal, that's the goal. Like, it doesn't matter if you have to eat spaghetti, tacos, you name it, like whatever the cheapest thing is, you eat those things until you pay off the debt. And there's no fun outside of that. Like, that just is what it is. We know we are, and that's what we're doing. And so at the end of the day, she realized and allowed for me to recognize that, at the end of the day, with all the money that comes our way, God wants us to not only enjoy life, but he also knows what we have need of. He knows what we are up against. He knows what our goals are and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. And so as money come our way, whether it's the regular, salary money that comes weekly or bi-weekly, or the additional money that comes our way, which we've had, which I'll tell you all about that. But nonetheless, as the money comes, God knows what our desires are. Her desires are to go on a cruise. My desire, truthfully, is to be able to chill on the couch and relax with my wife and allow for her to eat food that she wants to eat, because that's what she loves to do. Try new foods, eat new foods. She's a foodie. However, as we were walking and talking, I was like, babe, thank you for that, because there is something that I did not say because it was around money, and just how God has shared with me over this summer, June, this month, we should spend time together learning one another, retooling together, refocusing our plans, our goals, our dreams, our desires on the present and the future together, both individually and collectively as a family. That's one of the things that we're supposed to be doing this month. And next month is supposed to be us being able to go out and look for somewhere for us to stay, because our lease ends currently in our apartment in August. And so I already knew that. I told her about July. I didn't tell her about June, because I didn't know how much that was going to cost me. Truth be told, I had the thought that, if I tell her something like that, she can be like, okay, bet, we going on a cruise, or we about to go out to eat regularly, or you name it. I don't know. She was about to start naming stuff that I didn't want to pay for. So I didn't even tell her about that. So I started laughing, shared it with her. She looked at me like, what? Even us walking and talking as we were doing is allowing for us to come together, allowing for us to strategize and plan and get our ideas into one space and unified approach, right? And so she was then allowed for me to realize, no, it's not necessarily it's going to cost anything to be able to do so. There are many different ways we can accomplish that goal without paying an arm and a leg. So scratch that thought, Ricky. There's that scarcity or that fearful mindset as it pertains to finances. And I was like, all right, thank you. And then we started talking again about how we budget things and how we budget to zero, which I told her I hate seeing zero in the account, in the checking account. Obviously there's money others wears, but I don't like seeing it at all. So she was like, okay. With that being said, let's have another amount in our checking so that that's the amount that we have and that you see, and you're not worried about seeing the zero. And I was like, all right, see, little switches like that really went a long way mentally. And so, all right, we made that adjustment. And then we started talking about, as money starts to come in and things like that, how we would use it. And I had my thoughts, she had her thoughts, we shared it, and we came to a collective agreement and realizing that at the end of the day, we both have different desires of how we want to spend money and how we want to do things, and we can come together with those thoughts. But all of these steps, again, were tough conversations that we had to have eventually. You know how it is, man, when a conversation has to take place, but you try to prolong it as long as you can. You try to push it off as long as you can. You try to avoid the conversation as long as you can. You try to just go with the flow as long as you can. And then as long as you can becomes no more, and boom, here it is. And all that to say, the pressures, the thoughts that you have, the conversations that you have within yourself of what is going to be, what she's going to say, how are you going to respond, and all of those things. We don't have to have those thoughts anymore. We don't have to have and foster those conversations within ourselves anymore. No, talk to your wife, talk to your spouse. And I will even say, Crystal shared how she knew something was going on. She knew I had various thoughts, but she just didn't say anything. She was just letting it, play out and see what the end was going to be. But ultimately, she did share that she won't allow for it to progress or prolong as long as it has. Not that it's been that long, but, longer than a week. It doesn't have to go that long. I have the thought. I know what I'm going to say. I just haven't said it because I'm just thinking the thought. So I'm having a thought, but ultimately what I was really doing was praying to God, God, I know what you said to me. I just need for you to share with her what you shared with me so that we can be on the same page and I don't have to have the conversation. That was what I shared with her, what my prayers were. And it truly has been prior to Saturday. But then ultimately we were able to walk, we talked, we laughed, we planned, we strategized, we came up with a solution that was worked best for the both of us. A plan that works for the best of us, because I mean, we're a union, we're one, and so it's not just my thing, it's not just her thing, it's ultimately our thing, and we found the thing that works best for us, and so we were good. We left the conversation good. I told her ultimately, like, I feel like a weight is lifted off of my shoulder. I don't have to have these thoughts anymore. I don't have to be in this mental space where I'm trying to work things out by myself. Like, we can talk, we can share, and each month we'll bring up the budget. We'll talk through our finances. We'll talk through our plan. We'll reassess where we are, what we want to do, if it's still what we want to do, and if it's still how we want to progress. And now we have a plan. But ultimately, like, I'm here before you, father. I'm here before you, husband. I'm here before you, man, because I get it. I recognize it. I realize what it's like to try to figure it out, to have it all worked out before you talk it out. And ultimately, if you have a loving spouse, which I choose to believe you do, because that's why you're still sticking to this video, you have somebody that will work things out with you. You have somebody that will talk things out with you. You have somebody that will reason things out with you. You have somebody that is rational enough to be able to work to a agreeable solution for the both of you. Because at the end of the day, not only did she marry you in that moment and in that day, but she married you for the greater good of your family, the greater good for you, the greater good for her, the greater good for the kids. And what you all work out and what you all figure out will be just that, the greater good for you all. And so tap into the resource that you have, because she has a perspective that you don't have, just as you have a perspective that she doesn't have. Even specifically to our union, my wife is very adventurous and she likes being out. She likes traveling and trying new things, whereas I'm the most consistent, rigid, routine person that I know. Ultimately, I only know my uncle that is more than me. But ultimately, like, I'm so, like, when I lock in with a regiment or routine, it is what it is. I don't veer from it. I don't deter from it. I don't change from it. I go to restaurants, order the same thing every time. Like, if it was good once, it's gonna be good the second time, it's gonna be good the third time. Why am I looking at the menu? That's just me. But that's contrary to who she is, which is the beautiful and the beauty of our union. Like, it allows, as they say, opposites attract, but ultimately I believe it allows for diversity to come about within marriages, within families, within unions. And so as she has that adventurous mindset, cool, I'm over here taking trips. I've been far more countries than I ever believed that I ever would have stepped foot in. I have far more stamps that I could ever imagine, and it's all because of her. Like, again, if it was up to me, I'm good. Like, I'm good with a cruise once or twice, once a year, and it don't even have to go to Mexico every time. Like, as long as I know the ship, as long as I know what to expect food-wise, I'll be good to go. But not her. She want to try all of them, and we done been on a majority of them. But all that to say, fellas, like, tap into the resource that you have. Don't allow for the fear of not knowing to stop you from allowing for conversation to take place, for unity to come about. Because truthfully, like, once you all talk things out together, once you hear her perspective, once she knows your perspective on the thing, the outcome becomes so much greater, because it's something that you all worked towards, something that you all talked about, something that you all agreed upon, and something that you all want to see come into fruition. And it'll be a win-win scenario. And the beautiful thing about budgeting, if that's what the thing is for you, like it was for us, things could change each and every month. So maybe y'all alternate months. It's 12 months in a year. Maybe 1 month she get her thing, 1 month you get your thing, and it goes back and forth. Whatever is the plan that works best for you all, run it. Go for it. Strive for it. But don't try to figure it out mentally by yourself, because it's going to drain you. It'll frustrate you. It'll have you looking at her in ways in which you never looked at her before, whether it's disgust, frustration, fear, or like, bruh, don't you get it? Don't you get where we are and what you're doing is not progressing us into where we want to be? Maybe she doesn't. maybe she doesn't realize it like you do. Maybe she doesn't see the numbers as you do, or vice versa. Maybe you don't see it the way she does and you frustrated because she always saying, no, we can't do this, no, we can't do that, or she mad at you, or she can't celebrate with you when new things come in the house. I know that's my situation. Was my situation, no longer the situation, because we have to plan and I understand as things come in, things go out. But ultimately, husbands, like, our wives are far more greater than we could even imagine. And this past weekend, again, unlocked a new dimension within our household that I want for all households. And as other dimensions are unlocked within our union, I'll continue to share, because not only do I love parenting, not only do I love being a male and being a believer, but I love being a husband and want for the best for other husbands, marriages, unions, and covenants that people have with their spouses. So with it all and all, great people, I love you all. I appreciate your ear and your attention. And again, I hope for the best. I wish for the best, because I know the best comes when the two of you work together as one. So do that and you'll be far elated with the outcome, just as I am and my lovely wife Crystal is, because of the conversation that we had this past weekend. So until next time, peace.